Hi everyone and welcome to Season 9, Episode 7 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we've reached the end of our 9th season in this particular series, our second in the Championship, and we made really big strides this season. We finished 19th last season. This season we're fighting for 10th position, and there is a possibility of maybe nabbing another position or two ahead of that as well, as we play Preston North End in the very final game of the season. So let's do this. So yes, one more game of the season to play. Preston North End on the final day. They currently sit down in 21st position, so decent team to play. And if we go and have a look at the table in more detail, you can see that we're in 10th position on 69 points. We are 3 points clear of Leeds and got a very good goal difference comparatively to them as well. So I'm not worried about losing a place downwards. But both Cardiff and Aston Villa ahead of us are only two points clear of us. If results go our way, it is possible we could finish as high as 8th. I'm not saying it's definite, but it is possible. And with a decent performance against a slightly lowly Preston today, anything could potentially happen. But to be honest, whatever happens in this last game, to move from 19th as a finishing position last season in our first season in the Championship to getting that mid-table finish this time round, I'm ecstatic with that because I still actually don't think that we are even close to being the 10th best squad in this division. I really don't. I think there's far better squads out there. They just haven't been used particularly well, potentially. But anyway, Truro sitting in 10th position. Can we get any higher than that today? Can we finish off this season with a really good win? You can see that the finances are good. We've obviously had that capacity increased in our stadium recently and doubled, so finances are going to look a little bit better going forward, which is great. And there's always some decent prize money to come in at the end of the season. All the players have done really, really well for us. You can see that we've got the 8th best record in terms of goals scored this season and the 8th best in terms of conceded. So in theory, if we get to hit that 8th position with a good result today, that seems to be roughly where we've fitted this season. The rest of it looking great, other than the average attendance rating, which we had the smallest in the league for so long, and we still do really. The finances of this club compared to all of the other big hitters in this league are pretty weak. So still stuff for us to do. Whether we've got 1 or 2 more seasons, maybe even 3, who knows, in the Championship, I don't know. But gradually we are building this club up to be a potential Premier League club, but that's still a little while off. Next season, can we push those playoff positions? Maybe. We'll have to find out. But for today, it's all about closing off this season positively and trying to win this game very well and keep the morale and the momentum going into next season. So Preston North End, I'm coming for you. So for the last game of the season against Preston, we are having to make a couple of changes. I don't want to risk anybody, even if it's the last day. We're not going to lose anything here today. So ultimately, Mbayu, the goalkeeper, my number 1 choice goalkeeper, is out for a little bit, so I've rested him. Also, Adeniran in that holding midfield role as well has picked up a little bit of a knock. I'm not going to risk either of those two. It's just not necessary with what's at stake today. We then had a couple of tricky decisions to make. Sarmiento or Opoku on that left-hand side was a choice to make. Sarmiento has played most of the season, but Opoku's come in recently and done very well. So he holds his position down in the side. Joe White is back into the first team 11 today. And the likes of Chiwunga dropped down to the bench for him. And then it was a straight shootout between Mellon and Abu Bakar in terms of who was going to get that number 1 berth in the striking position today. And it had to go for the more experienced Mellon. Now, I don't think he's going to be here next season, should I say. I think most of our strike force are going to be cleared out because they haven't been good enough. But Abu Bakar, I still think at the age of 19, has got something about him that if we can get him an early start next season in terms of in front of goal, maybe we'll just unlock a player in him. This season, it's been a little bit hit and miss. He was very slow to get going, but now he's on 9 goals in 22 starts, which is not bad for an 18, 19-year-old. Next season, I just expect a little bit more from him. But for today's match, Mellon gets the shout. So we're going with Roberts in goal, Fink at right back, Benamor at left back, Reddy and McCann in central defence, Rossiter, Williams and White in central midfield, Wright Phillips on the right, Apoku on the left and Mellon up top with a bench of Archer, Clark, Chiwunga, McManus, Ibrahim, Sarmiento and Abu Bakar. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So with little to lose today, I have very chilled out suggested to them that just go out, relax, enjoy, play your natural game, the result will come. It was all very chilled out, mostly got a favourable response from the players. There was no point in me trying to push them and corral them into something when actually we've got nothing to lose today. If we can pick up a couple of places by some random results going our way, that is fantastic. But even if we don't, then ultimately we've done very well this season. And that's a really dreadful start. 6 minutes in, what happened there? A long free kick right the way near on the halfway line, sweeping long ball in. And just they got above us. Tucker it was that got higher than everybody else, got his head on the ball, looped it over the top of the goalkeeper. And we go 1-0 down early in the game. Couple of very early yellow cards for Preston though, so that's something to look out for. And so far, it's been a little bit unfortunate for us. 18, 19 minutes in, no highlights to speak of other than that one free kick for Preston. And it's just a little bit dull, unfortunately. It feels like an end-of-season match. That's what it feels like, with not a lot to play for. Although Preston, I think, was still fighting for their lives a little bit down at the bottom of the table. But yeah, we don't have much to lose, as I say, and I think it's kind of showing in the performance today so far. A Preston North End goal kick into midfield. Can we win the ball? We can't, unfortunately. And it is Preston that keep the ball down that right-hand side. But then they play it too long and McCann intercepts it. Goalkeeper onto the ball. Do we keep it? We don't keep it again in midfield. And again they come through. And on this occasion, the goalkeeper was just so poorly positioned. You watch this. Roberts clears the ball, steps out from his goal. Immediately, Preston win it in midfield, sweep it through, and he comes out to the edge of his 6-yard box and leaves a whopping great big gap at his near post. And Manuel just slots the ball in there. 2-0 to Preston. It's not the end of the season that we really wanted in terms of the performance so far. As I say, there's nothing to lose particularly, excuse me, but ultimately, having said that, a loss is a loss and I don't want one. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to have to absolutely rollick them at this halftime team talk. So I'm actually going to thrash my arms about. You're much better than this. I need you to show me. Then we're going to go into the tactics immediately and we're going to up it right from the outset from balanced into attacking, and we're going to step onto the front foot and put ourselves on them potentially to see if we can find a way to break them down. There was an injury issue there I noticed that we need to maybe think about. Opoku has not done so good today so far and has picked up a potential knee injury. I'm not taking any chances. Sarmiento was out the side for him. He comes back in at halftime just to protect the fitness of the players, really. I don't want any of these players being out long-term over the summer if I can help it, because it will impact their pre-season, etc. at the beginning of the next season. So we're going to make that change. We're going to immediately go into the shouts and fire them up. And hopefully we can get going in this second half with a couple of chances. But so far, again, it's been a little bit quiet. No highlights in the first 10 minutes or so of this second half. Several yellow cards for us at the back end of the first half, so something to be careful of there. And it's Manuel again down that right-hand side for Preston. Jinks past the defender, gets into the box, but then he runs into one of the defenders. And Mellon gets a chance to take the ball. And instead of holding up, Jinks past the defender, runs through on goal, has a shot at goal at least. but it is straight at the goalkeeper and he parries it away. 60 minutes in, we've pushed them down to their fullback position on a throw-in. Can we keep them in there? Can we press them a little bit? Or are they going to get out too easy? They did get out quite easily, unfortunately. And then they went too early over the top and we have won that ball, but we send it into midfield early and just about maintain the possession of it. There's a couple of yellow cards that we're probably going to have to take off in a few minutes, though, just to protect anything silly happening in the rest of the game. Fink with the ball over the top. Mellon one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and eventually we get on the score sheet at 61 minutes in. A lovely, lovely ball from Fink down that right-hand side in the fullback position, just gets it out from his feet and then whips it round the defender, long down the pitch. Mellon runs onto it, quite narrow in terms of his view of the goal, but the goalkeeper comes out, leaves a little bit of space, and he puts it home for 2-1. 65 minutes in, I am just going to go in and make a couple of changes and take a couple of those yellow cards out of our team, because that looks as though it's going to cause us a problem if not. So what have we got? We've got several poor performances going on and several yellow cards. We're going to take Joe White out and put Chawunga back in. He's only recently come back into the starting lineup, White. And then we've got one more, and we either take off Rossiter and put McManus on, or we take Ben Moore off potentially, or Fink down that right-hand side. I think we're going to have to protect that central midfield. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring McManus on. We're just going to put Williams back into that holding role. And then actually we are going to switch McManus and Chawunga around as well, just because I know that's how they'll all play their positions best. So 2-1 down with 25 minutes to go of the match. We've made our substitutions early just to take some of those yellow cards out. We go back into the game and immediately again we demand more from them. Can we get a draw? Can we get a second goal and just stop ourselves from losing on the final day of the season? 15 minutes to go now at 75 minutes in the match. It's gone a little bit quiet again. The chances are there for both sides though. You see 10 and 9 in terms of chances created. Ben Moore with a throw in. We get it into the box and then it's blocked and sent back out. And it looked like it was offside, but very narrowly. And that was a Preston North End free kick down the far right-hand side of the penalty box. So quite close to the goal. Drops it back to the edge of the box. Long strike. And Manuel, I do not like him. Whoever he is, I don't like him at all. He's impacted this game very well for them. And we go 3-1 down with about 8 minutes to go. I think that's kind of us done and dusted a little bit. There's nothing that I can do to overturn this game and win, I think, with 5 minutes left to go, being 3-1 down. And as I say, we can't lose anything here, and I don't think we can gain anything now. So we'll just let it play out. It was a disappointing performance in the end, but maybe it just did show that Preston were fighting for something at the end. Let's go and see whether they managed to avoid the drop this season or whether that wasn't enough for them. But for us, disappointing end performance to a very, very good season. Well, as a roundup to this season, this says it all, doesn't it? Sky Bet Championship, Preston North End avoid relegation on the final day. They had everything to fight for, and boy did they fight for it. We rolled over a little bit for them, and they secured their championship position for next season on the very last day of this particular campaign. The teams are all there for the playoffs, so that's something that we're not going to be involved in this time round. Apoku with a 5 to 6 day injury, that's absolutely fine. He'll sort that out in due course. We were ill-disciplined in the game against Preston. Apparently we had too many yellow cards and got a £5,000 fine for it. And I slammed the team, suggesting they weren't good enough, which they really kind of weren't today. And there's some speculation of a couple of our players as well. So we'll have to watch out what's happening in the summer. At this point, I don't really know. None of the budgets have been set yet. You can see 5 million in the bank is very good. No transfer budget is set for next season yet. So it'll be as surprising to me as it will to you to find out exactly what we've got. And we will be changing some of this setup. The strikers, I don't think, have been good enough this season. We will be keeping Abu Bakar, but possibly all of the other ones will go if I can find bidders for them. We've got some good people in terms of our loan deals, and whether we'll be able to keep all of them or whether we'd want to, I'm going to have to spend some time thinking about that. But ultimately, this has been a very, very enjoyable season for a Truro City side that are punching well above their weight at the moment. I do genuinely believe that. So it's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a difficult season next year to improve this squad and try and at least maintain the trajectory that we're on of sitting in mid-table in the Championship. Can we do that? Only time will tell. You'll have to join me for the next episode to find out. Between now and then, there's all sorts of stuff happening on the channel. Next week is going to be a Euros-based series that's going to spread through most of the week if I stay in the Euros for long enough with Belgium. So check that out. So it might be a little bit of a break for Truro and the likes of Aberdeen also. But of course, also, I'm now live on Twitch every day at twitch.tv/the United City FM as well. Every day, every weekday from 3 till 5 p.m. UK time. Come and find me there. But yeah, it's been a fantastic season. Next season is going to be challenging. Come back and join me for that. Until then, though, subscribe to the channel here if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by lots more people. That helps the YouTube algorithms. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.